Good morning, students, and welcome to your video walkthrough for the week of March 8th. For our first class of the week, you need to have written your companion poem for the Youth Poet Laureates and also completed reading 50% of either your poetry book or your novel in verse. If you look in Schoology in Language Arts and you find the week of 3/8 haiku, and you open up your Read First document, you'll see that in the morning class for our first class of the week, you'll have the option to share your poem. As always, we are a share by choice learning community. And then you'll spend most of the class working in your small groups, your poetry pods, exploring haiku. In the afternoon, it is optional to attend because this week we'll be switching. So instead of your film being due at the end of the week, it'll be your poems that'll be due at the end of the week, and your film will be due the beginning of next week. That's because your film for this week is based on the haiku that you'll be writing this week. So this afternoon, you're going to write 5 haiku and see OneNote for further instructions. You can find those in the content library in projects under poetry. Also, you're going to continue reading your poetry book. On Wednesday, as always, I have open office hours from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can find this link in the class links on the Language Arts page. You can also find them on the Schoology calendar, and then you can find them on your Outlook calendar as well. Specifically from 12 to 1 on Wednesday, I'll be offering a memorization clinic. So if you'd like some help memorizing your poem, that would be a great time to come. For our last class of the week, or second class of the week, your haiku will be due, and you'll be writing 5 haiku based on a theme that your group chooses. Or if you're working alone, a theme you choose. But the 5 haiku should be connected in some way. During the morning class for our second class of the week, you'll be working with your group on your haiku film. This time you'll have more time to work on it, and so my expectations for the quality of the film, my expectations are higher for this week. In the afternoon, you'll also have time to work on your film. And then you're going to finish reading your poetry book, which will be due next week, and you'll begin memorizing your poem, which you should have about 25% memorized by the beginning of next week. For our work this week, if you go to OneNote and you go to the content library and you go to projects and you go to the poetry section, you'll see there's a page here about haiku. These are your instructions for the first class of the week. So as a whole class, we'll listen to a segment, an NPR segment on what makes a haiku. And then with your poetry pod, you're going to listen to and or watch this TED Talk. I had to listen to it because the speaker is just walking back and forth and it was making me dizzy. So if you're not able to watch it and just listen to it, that is absolutely fine. And then I want you to read about haiku. And so for this, you're going to scroll down and you'll see there's this information and some examples and some links about haiku. And then as a group or as individuals, you're going to write 1 or more haiku about gratitude, courage, humility. So for example, if I'm in a group with 2 other people, we could all work together to write 3 or 4 poems about gratitude. And then maybe we work together and only write 1 poem about courage. And maybe the last one we want to work separately and we each write 3 poems about humility. These will be easier to understand after you've watched the TED Talk. Then I want you to bring some of the poems back to the large group to share. And this week you'll choose a theme. Could be nature, coming of age, relationships, time, fruit, whatever you want. And then each member of your pod will write 5 haiku related to that theme. Again, each of you will be writing 5 haiku related to the theme that you choose. And those poems are going to be due at the end of the week. On Thursday, you will curate a selection and create your film. So for example, if I have 3 people in my group, including me, we may decide to use 2 of my poems and 1 of another person and 3 of another person. And so there would be a total of 6 haiku in our film. Or we could just choose 1 from each of us, or we could choose all 5 from each of us and be a longer film. It's important for your film to include music, voiceovers, images, a title slide, and credits. And there should be at least 1 poem from each person. And if you're working alone or with a partner, your film should at least include 3 poems total. Films are going to be due at the beginning of next week. I look forward to working with all of you, and have a wonderful week.